What is going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Kyle Kelly live on the Blue and Gold YouTube channel. I am not a morning person, so it pains me to be in the Thursday 10:30 a.m. Eastern time slot for you West Coasters, 7:30 a.m. But it's football season. This is what we do. We do Thursday mornings because we have Marcus Freeman's press conference at noon, which kind of knocks out our afternoon slot with Kyle and I, doing different content from that. And then Fridays we're on the road. So we settle into this Thursday morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Kyle, everything good on your end, my friend?
Yeah, man, it's game week, so I'm fired up. I'm ready to go, ready to get down to College Station for Saturday. We've been waiting for this game all year, and I'm just ready to see these two teams kick off and get after it.
Have been waiting for this game all year and very excited about it. Of course, we will have a post-game live show on this Blue and Gold YouTube channel right after myself and Tim Hyde. No matter what time that game ends, we will be live to cover it, and really excited about that. Yeah, Kyle will be there, Jack will be there, Tyler will be there. So we'll have you with wall-to-wall coverage again right here on our Blue and Gold YouTube channel and blueandgold.com. Just gonna wait and see if my camera has any issues today, like it usually has been lately. So we'll see on that. So far, so good. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done so yet. If you're listening via podcast, thank you very much. I do have a face for radio. Just make sure you leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy our Blue and Gold podcast, and leave a review and let us know why you enjoy the podcast. It definitely helps us. Lotus, hello. Kevin, hello. Peter, Drew. Lotus says, "Here Come the Irish" is amazing. The Peacock documentary. I have not docu-series, I should say. I have not been able to watch any of it yet, but on the docket for today. All right, on the outline for the show, we are starting with a little wide receiver recruiting talk. This is something that happened a week ago. Notre Dame offering 3 new receivers in the 2025 class. So this is not like brand new information or anything like that. But I figured let's have a little discourse about it and get Kyle's thoughts. I mean, I covered this in a video with Darren Pritchett this week. But again, want to hear Kyle's thoughts about it. So Notre Dame offering, again, 3 new receivers. The first 2 guys to talk about announced it late Thursday night of last week. And then the third guy was on Friday morning. So you got Jace Brown, Downey, California, Warren High School, 3-star prospect, 6'2", 195 pounds. Also has the likes of Arizona, Utah, Kansas, Washington State on his offer list. Jalen Cooper from Steele High School. I think I said in a video earlier this week, Dallas area. I'm an idiot. He's San Antonio. That's someone's going to yell at me in the comments. Cabolo, Texas. Nation's number 267 overall player, number 39 wide receiver per the 2025 On3 industry ranking. On3's own rankings rate him pretty higher, significantly higher than the other websites. Number 19 overall wide receiver compared to 63, 63, and 57 per 24/7 ESPN and Rivals, respectively. And then Antavius Richardson from Greenville, Georgia, a town of less than 1,000 people, committed to USF, former Georgia State commit, picked the Bulls over Mississippi State and North Carolina, Duke, Notre Dame, some of his recent offers, and Bama sniffing around. Richardson committed to USF as a safety. Notre Dame is looking at him as a wide receiver. So you have those 3 new offers, all 3 guys from what we are told at Blue and Gold scheduled for fall official visits. And then you have Derek Meadows still out there. I put him on the thumbnail of this video. Partly, it's not a clickbait thing. Partly, we just don't have pictures really of the other 3 guys. So I was like, all right, we'll just put. I know we have a lot of pictures of Derek Meadows. And Notre Dame is still actively recruiting Derek Meadows. I've been told that between Freeman, Denbrock, Brown, Bowden. The staff is having regular contact with Meadows, and that is going well. We will see if Meadows gets back to South Bend this fall. So that's the rundown on wide receiver recruiting, and it's very possible that Notre Dame offers another couple guys, just based on how things go with, just fall seasons and how these guys look, as seniors. So Kyle, that's the rundown on wide receiver recruiting. What's your take on it right now? Do you like where things are trending? Do you like the new offers? What are your thoughts?
Well, when I wrote my story, I think it was sometime after Derek Meadows ended up committing to LSU. I wanted to dish on some, wide receivers that Notre Dame should go after in the 2025 recruiting cycle. And I remember when I was writing that, when I was going through names, kind of digging through guys, I tried to stay away from guys who were committed to schools nearby them or within the state. So Jalen Cooper and Jace Brown are both guys that are committed to Cooper being SMU, San Antonio area, committed to Dallas-based school. And
Yeah.
Jace Brown, I don't know exactly where Downey, California is, but
It's LA
committed to
area.
UC. Yeah,
it's
so
LA
that's
area.
in state. So those two things initially, when I had wrote my story, those markers are something I strayed away from because I felt like it would be a little bit more difficult for Notre Dame to flip a guy who's committed to a school that was nearby them, kind of that hometown feel. Guys like to play closer to home sometimes, but as we know, Notre Dame recruits national. They get kids from all over the country. So in terms of like my favorite guy of this list, I'm going to go with Cooper, the SMU commit. Now it shouldn't really be a huge surprise considering he's the lone 4-star on this list, a guy that On3 ranks pretty highly. I think as a fringe top 150 recruiter, right around there. I think even within the top 150, he put up some tremendous production playing Texas high school football, which is pretty much the best high school football in all the country. Something I love that we're doing it On3 right now. I talked about this on the last show, is really diving into the high school recruiting scene and high school coverage, where On3 is ranking all these teams across the country from 1 to like 1,000. Like there's 1,000. I mean, we're covering all these high schools and ranking them accordingly. And Texas overwhelmingly has like the most schools in the top 100. I think there's like 15 to 20 of them. And I think the next closest might be like California or Georgia. But anyway, against playing in that, elite competition down there, he had 68 catches for about 1,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, and almost 25 yards per catch. So that's a really big number. I know when I talked to a friend of the show, Tom Lemming, about Notre Dame wide receiver recruiting and just wide receiver recruiting in general, he's always taught me to look at the yards per catch as a pretty good number to determine how those guys are producing at the high school level. Because, sometimes these teams, whether they're on one end or the other, be a blowout game, high school quarterbacks can always be not the best. So that's why I like to look at that yards per catch metric. And as for Jace Brown, he's a guy that obviously committed to UCLA. California is another great state for high school football. 46 catches for 560 yards and 6 touchdowns, averaging a little over a dozen yards per catch. So not as much production as Cooper at the high school level. I think his ranking reflects that. I do like Cooper over him a little bit more. And I know Richardson is kind of your guy, right, Mike? Like he's the Brandon Hillman of the 25 class. Hillman, a 2023 recruit who played at a very small school in Virginia, was the best athlete on the field, was a quarterback, could play any position on the field. Notre Dame recruited him as a safety. And now Richardson's kind of the same deal, right? Where he's small town in Georgia. He's playing quarterback, verbally committed to USF. um, homeschool or school of Mike Singer, but schools like Alabama are coming after him. So I know he's an elite athlete. No surprise that Notre Dame has kind of circled around him, just because Notre Dame they prioritize traits and elite athletic
Yeah.
measurables, and Richardson certainly has all those qualities. And I think the best thing, coming out of all three of these offers is that, to our knowledge, and Steve Wilfong has reported this on Three's VP of Recruiting, all these guys are going to officially visit campus sometime this season. So that'll be great for Notre Dame to make some momentum while they're in South Bend and hopefully progress towards getting some flips.
Yeah, and we do have the dates of those official visits on our Loose Emoji message board and our master visit list. So if you want to know the specific dates, you can check that out there. And I will mention that we still have our offer. And on the screen right now, we are watching some Antavius Richardson clips. I will, as I plug our message board, definitely recommend folks consider checking out our kickoff sale at Blue and Gold, 50% off annual memberships. This thing got extended, and I think it's going to be for the rest of the week. So if you missed out, the promo code is kickoff24. This comes out to $5 a month. So just do some boy math here. Talk about girl math. Boy math here. Think $5 in a 30-day month, what that comes out to. All the articles, the daily art. I mean, our staff's writing like 10 plus articles, every single day. And just think about per article how much you're paying. It's gonna be like less than a penny, something like that. I'm not a mathematician, but $50, 50% off annual subscriptions. That comes out to a value of $4.99 per month, billed annually. And the promo code's kickoff24. So sign up for Blue and Gold. Sign up for Blue and Gold right now.
Mike, I got one more plug if
No.
you let me do this, because
No, I can't. I can't, Kyle. I can't. Right
I
after. Right? No, I can't. Right after, Kyle.
I'm getting this out of.
I am muting Kyle because we are going to hear from our friends over at Prize Picks, sponsoring this week's Notre Dame recruiting update. And I have to tell you, folks, testing my skills on Prize Picks during football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into 1,000 with just a few taps. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Prize Picks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts. You got Taco Tuesday, one of my personal favorites. So each Tuesday, Prize Picks has discounted selected player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Oftentimes you get to vote on who's going to be the taco on Twitter. It's one of my favorites. And my pick for this week, here's my lineup for this week. They basically call this a free square. So this is Jalen Milroe to throw for more than a yard, or excuse me, half of a yard against Western Kentucky. Okay, so that's a free square, but you have to hit on at least 2 here. So I am going with Milroe to throw for a yard. Big bet here, folks. And then Riley Leonard, this is a goblin pick, which is basically like, a better chance of it happening, but you may not, have as big of winnings to throw for a touchdown. So Milroe to throw for a yard, Leonard to throw a touchdown. This is a $20 play. That's 2 picks to pay $40. So I like the entry here. Kyle, do you?
Passing touchdown for Leonard, right? It's just not
just a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
Now it would be nice if it was a rushing touchdown as well, but just a passing touchdown. I think he's going to throw for a touchdown against A&M.
If there was a guy on the other end of that, I would look for Mitchell Evans, but I think that I like Leonard's chances more to reach the end zone on the ground. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Leonard's going to get skunked in his Notre Dame debut from reaching the end zone through the air.
Download the Prize Picks app or head to prizepicks.com. Use the promo code BGI to receive a guaranteed $50 once you play in $5 lineups. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. So there you go, folks. Play 5. Get $50 instantly. Use the code BGI. All right, Kyle, what was so important? I need to know. Stop the presses, folks. What is so important, Kyle?
Well, it doesn't feel that important anymore since
Well,
time has passed, but
it's not. We got to pay some bills. But what is it? What was it?
well, this is going to help us pay some bills and pay our salaries because I just want to shout out the Blue and Gold staff because I know we're writing a lot of stories. And usually when you think quantity, that takes away from the quality. But we have some damn good reporting up at Blue and Gold right now. The wall-to-wall coverage of this Notre Dame Texas A&M game has been fantastic. I love what we're doing as a staff. All the reporting that we have up on the site. If there's anything you want to know about this week's matchup against Texas A&M, I guarantee you we have it. So just a little sneak peek. Looking ahead now that Notre Dame's going to have some home games down the road. I know it's been a really slow recruiting grind for this month, and I've just been checking up on some of our other On3 sites around the network, and I think we're all in a little bit of a lull right now since it's a dead period. But man, once these kids start getting on campus, and now that high school games are in swing, Mike and I are always going to be bringing you the scoop, the intel. What sources from Notre Dame are saying about all these guys, and you really can't beat the price. 50% off that annual subscription, $4.99 a month, billed annually. I mean, that's a heck of a deal. Use that kickoff 24 code and get yourself in the mix.
Kyle, you crazy, bro.
Mike is on one today.
Listen, man, I gotta pay my bills.
So do I. I'm helping us pay. Helping us pay the bills.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Couple comments as we round out the receiver conversation. Chances they flip Meadows less than 10%. I mean, I've never been a percentage guy. I always just like to say everything's 50-50. So then I'm always right or wrong. It's like that's 50-50. But you can't get mad at me if I say it's 50-50. But I mean, all I can tell you is that Notre Dame's in contact. It's going well. I feel so jaded in giving like updates on these different recruits now after Ivan Taylor's and Deuce Knight and just some of these recruitments where it's just like you truly don't know unless right? Unless you absolutely know there's a silent commitment coming or that kind of thing. You just don't know. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get my swagger back, but you just don't know. Will Notre Dame try to flip Dylan Robinson and or Tanook Hines? Highly doubt it on Hines. Robinson, maybe. I just have not heard that. Not a bad question, Peter. I will look into it. But I was told it would be Meadows would be the flip target in terms of guys they were previously going after. But they could be trying with Robinson. Just have not heard that.
I got one more thought, Mike, because just because that Notre Dame might not be circling back on some other guys doesn't mean that that Notre Dame is now going after lesser targets. It can be just a matter that guys emerge during their senior years, and there's guys that Notre Dame didn't really know about or have developed and gotten better, since the previous offers. I think Logan Soldate is just the perfect example of that. I think everyone was pretty disappointed when Notre Dame struck out on their wide receiver targets last cycle, and Isaiah Canyon flipped from Notre Dame to Georgia Tech. Then Notre Dame goes to Northern California. I think that's where Soldate is from, the Salinas area. And they flipped this recruit that's ranked within the thousands, Oregon State. He didn't even have a profile picture on his On3 profile. Who is this guy? And he ends up turning to be a 4-star. I think maybe
The
even
old
within.
they call it the old Domer bump. That's
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I mean, Logan Saldate is a dang good football player. He helped them win a state championship. I'm pretty sure the first one in Palma history last year, Palma school history. So he's a guy I know you mentioned earlier this week in your gold standard piece that's already impressing, even after
yeah.
enrolling for the summer at Notre Dame. They got a loaded receiver room this year. A lot of the young guys are buried toward the bottom of the depth chart just because of the veteran experience. But yeah, my big thing is, even though that this is the latest batch of offers, like who's not to say that Notre Dame doesn't like, a Jace Brown or um, Jalen Cooper or Richardson more than some of the guys that they previously targeted.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Saldate, good player. Loaded receiver room, Kyle.
In terms of experience, no, yeah, I felt as soon as I said loaded, maybe that wasn't
Did you
the
watch my show with Goolsby this week?
no. So I actually I'm saving that to catch up on podcast form on my flight to Houston. I was thinking about that today,
Good
but
show. It was a good show.
I love I love listening to you and Hyde and Goolsby, of
And
course.
Gould. Yeah. So we did our positional grades, which was a big hit last year. So we brought it back, and it was one of our biggest shows that we've had in a while. So, yeah. What did you think my receiver grade was?
Well, instead of a loaded receiver room, I'll call it an improved receiver room, and I'm going to guess that you gave it a B minus.
You know what? Probably should have had this. I
Notre
can't
Dame's
remember.
Singer's a
All right,
former
okay.
wide receiver, so he's
B
always going to,
minus.
yeah. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, give it a B minus. Goolsby gave it a C. I mean, I get it. I get it. Okay. Moving along. This is a premium article. So our YouTube audience here, you guys are getting a little article, a freebie here, but make sure so you don't miss any of our premium content. Our kickoff sale, 50% off. It's billed at $4.99 per month, or it's billed annually, but it comes out to $4.99 per month. Promo code kickoff24. Pouring ourselves out here, but that's okay. So this is a headline from Kyle Kelly this morning. 5 notable Notre Dame football recruiting targets visiting A&M Saturday night. Sincere Johnson, 4-star linebacker. These are all 2026 guys from Cleveland. Glenville, Braden Jones. Didn't I just predict him to Notre Dame? I sure did. Yep. Braden Jones is going to be there from Chicago. That's kind of a surprising one for me. Tank King, 4-star linebacker from Port Arthur Memorial. Connor Salmon. Connor Salmon from Virginia, 4-star. I just recently predicted to Notre Dame, and then Braylon Womack. Safety from Mississippi. A lot of buzz between him and Notre Dame this summer. Predicted to Ohio State yesterday by Matt Parker of our Letterman Row on 3 website. Kyle, I got someone knocking on my door. I need to go get that. I'm going to give you the floor, and you can talk about this, okay?
All right. Well, I'm going to get bold here because I'm also going to pull something up here on the screen. I know Mike gave me the little tutorial on how to do this a couple weeks back, and I know we tried it during the show before, so I'm going to give it a go again. So I'm going to show this on the screen. Comment from our YouTube subscribers. Thank you, C. Matherin. Is that how we say it? Matherine. 5 fun fact, you joined for the kickoff sale. So thank you for hopping on board with Blue and Gold. I know we're excited. We have a lot of new subscribers on the site this go around. So hop on that loose emoji message board, interact with me, Singer, all our other great staff members, Sporka, Sobel. We even got the national guys, Wilt Fong, JD Piquel, Chad Simmons, all those guys hopping on the loose emoji message board. So you are welcome. I know I pronounced your username wrong, but yeah, thank you for joining. So, yeah, this week at Texas A&M, it's going to be a lot of Notre Dame targets on hand. There's going to be 16 guys there with that have Notre Dame offers. And in that story that Mike was referencing before he went to go handle his business or whatever's going on there, I did detail 5 of those guys that I think are key guys that have visited Notre Dame in the past, guys that are keeping in close contact with, and who I feel like are the most notable ones that are going to be in College Station this week. And there's really a few guys from that list, even from the 5, that I'm really paying attention to. And I think the first one that I would mention would be Tank King, who plays linebacker there in the Texas area. He's a 4-star guy, a guy that Notre Dame was in on Pot of Gold Day, got him to campus for the Blue Gold game on the 20th of April. And I remember him coming out of that visit, he had said right away that he wanted to be in College Station to see Notre Dame play Texas A&M Week 1. He's already visited Texas A&M one time, so this I think will be a at least second trip to College Station. This time he'll get to see the Irish for a second time. And another visit that I'm finding fascinating, fascinating is that Braylon Womack visit to Texas A&M, because, like Mike said, predicted to Ohio State yesterday by Letterman Rose Matt Parker. I know other sites have predicted him to Notre Dame with a forecast. So a very interesting recruitment developing, where another recruit from Mississippi is looking at Notre Dame, also looking at Ohio State, another Midwestern school, but also has 2 schools in Texas, in A&M and Texas, that he's also considering. And the final guy I'll mention of that 5, and like I said, I kind of narrowed it down a little bit further for our YouTube audience of some fascinating targets on that visitor list, is Sincere Johnson, just because he's a Cleveland Glenville guy. I've said so many times on the show, Glenville guys always go to Ohio State. Buckeyes haven't offered. Notre Dame has a ton of momentum in that recruitment. But after Johnson's Notre Dame visit in July for the Grill and Chill, it was his 3rd trip to South Bend. He made it to College Station a couple days later. So now he'll get to see Notre Dame and Texas A&M on the same field Saturday night. And as much of an opportunity as it is for Texas A&M to really impress these recruits in front of the 112,000 fans or whatever, I think it's 102,000 fans they're going to have in College Station, this is also equally a great opportunity for Notre Dame to pick up some momentum with a big-time win and get things buzzing on the recruiting trail.
Kyle, appreciate you, bro. Someone comes to my door and I knew exactly who it was, and I had to go talk to them. The joys of home ownership. Did I miss anything?
Well, I did shout out. I used our little production website here to shout out a new subscriber who hopped on board with our kickoff special.
C-Matt?
So, yeah, shout out to him. I pronounce his username incorrectly, but
that's okay. He's a friend from college, so
let's go, man. Bringing the college guys on board now. I've tried to do that with a couple of my college friends, but
I'm just kidding.
Not yet.
He is he's a good buddy. So, but yeah, did not know him from college. Peter says, is there an update on Nathaniel Usabotang? Not really, right, Kyle? Like, we're just kind of waiting. Like, he's taken like Florida official visit, like maybe visits. I would guess he gets to a Notre Dame game this fall. I'm gonna go see him. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I'm planning on going to at least one IMG game. It's a Thursday. I think it's the 12th. And then I'm planning to go back like 2 weeks later, because like when we go on the road to see recruits, the goal is always to interview them before the game. If you can like go up in the afternoon or whatever, then you don't have to worry about after the game. Because at IMG, I got like 6 guys to interview. Like Notre Dame's recruiting so many from IMG, maybe not 6. But I don't know, Kyle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with that at IMG. I'm going to try.
Oh yeah, you can do it.
Do you think I can?
IMG, they look like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the big bad wolf, essentially. But I think they're all bark, no
I'll
bite.
try.
I think you can make it
Okay.
happen. I think
I
you can make
mean,
it
I'm
happen.
not gonna be able to twist their arm. I'll ask.
They're friendly to On3, man. When I
Okay.
was at the
I
Davis game,
know.
they were great. One of the officials from IMG was pulling kids after the game, and like the buses
Really?
were taking off, and I was able to talk to these kids for like 10, 15 minutes afterwards.
Wait, when was this? Oh, the Ben Davis
Yeah, when
last year?
they came up to
Okay.
Indianapolis.
All right. Well,
And I
go ahead.
remember that game, man. I was thinking because I interviewed Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng and another former Notre Dame linebacker target, Gavin Nix, who I know during the spring there was like a sense like, hey man, this kid could be on commit watch. But Notre Dame ended up going to prioritizing Owusu-Boateng and Framo, some of those guys, and I think Nix committed to Miami. But yeah, I
Yeah.
remember when I was talking to those guys, I felt like Nix was a sneaky sleeper to end up Notre Dame's class. And when I was talking to Owusu-Boateng, I was like, this is a long shot. Like, there's no way this kid's gonna end up at Notre Dame. And
My
that's just a
gut was
credit
the
to,
opposite.
yeah, man, because
Well, no.
Owusu,
Well, no. Sorry. I'm sorry. Knicks, you were right. Sneaky. No one was ever talking about it. I think
right?
Notre Dame was more of a contender there than people thought. But yeah, you were off on Boateng. I thought that for a long time too. And I'm still a little more pessimistic that Notre Dame's going to land them than Notre Dame sources are. But we'll see.
I'm gonna toot my horn once more because
Mm,
I was covering Madden for Ammo a ton in this offseason, but not a lot not a lot of other people were talking about him. Now he's become probably the single most remaining important defensive target on that board for Notre Dame. So that's one they got to close down, man. They got to get that guy out of SoCal. It's
yeah,
got a weird feeling to it. He's letting things
dude.
progress, but man, there's spot. I mean, Notre Dame's letting these linebackers play, man. Max Bull is going to go 6 deep, this fall, and Kaiser's going to move on after the season, obviously, and who knows who hits the portal or whatever. Like Madden Faramo can easily be a day one starter for Notre Dame next year, alongside
Oh,
Kingston. And
I don't know about
dude,
day
he
one
is.
starter. If Kingston is not a day one starter,
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Kingston lines up for the first snap in College Station on
oh, I wouldn't
Saturday.
be surprised either. But
So that's technically day one
I could
starter.
see Fremo playing as a freshman. We'll say that. I could
It's
see him
good.
burn his red shirt. Yeah.
Dude, him and Kingston next to each other on that same defense would just be unbelievable. I would hate
All
to
right,
be the offensive coordinator.
folks. I do apologize for my my little absence there. But yeah, we're gonna move along. I'm sure Kyle had some great points on the the Notre Dame guys at A&M. But yeah, I like Notre Dame for Braden Jones and Connor Salmon. And yeah, they're at A&M. Tank King is another that likes Notre Dame a good bit. Sincere Johnson. I could see either of those guys ended up at Notre Dame. Womack. Yeah. Womack's one of those for me, Kyle, that I have a thought here and I'm trying to like put it into words. Like it's
Here, I
easier
got
to
it. Yeah.
it's easier to get a guy. It's easier to sign a guy if you have him committed early than it is to just like go through the entire process. I think that's kind of like a Womack thing. Like if Notre Dame was able to lock him up in the summer when they had all their momentum, they would have a much better shot here than the way it's progressed now. Like you get him committed, it's still going to be a battle, but maybe you can keep him signed or keep him committed and sign him. But this thing is, I have a hard time seeing it. And you wrote coming out of his, I'm reading your article now, coming out of his first South Bend trip, Irish held the momentum, but this is even more competitive. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing Notre Dame winning that recruitment, but we will see. We will see. Taco Bell delivery. All right, what do you think, Kyle? What were you going to say?
So there's like these couple targets at Notre Dame, like every cycle that are like elite recruits who we feel are trending to Notre Dame early but fade late. So that's how I was going to phrase that for you. Like Womack feels like one of those trend early, fade late guys. Like just guy that pops off the top of my head, Ryan Wingo. Remember his recruitment
Yeah,
coming out of St.
of
Louis?
course.
Like after Jeremiah Love committed to Notre Dame, out of St. Louis Christian Brothers, like everyone was pointing like, "Hey man, Wingo could be next." He had a great connection with CJ Carr.
Yeah.
Just Notre Dame ended up losing steam there. Well,
Remember,
and I also think I know Pete Nako is our on three NIL guy. Talked about it earlier this week on one of the shows, or he might have written it that Wingo got a pretty penny from Texas. So that always plays a factor nowadays recruiting.
yeah. Remember CJ Carr, Sammy Brown, and Ryan Wingo going out for dinner. Do you remember that, Kyle?
I sure do, man. That was crazy. I was always skeptical about Sammy because I knew Clemson and
Yeah.
Georgia were the two for him. He ended up signing with Clemson, and that wasn't really a huge surprise to him. But yeah, that's a perfect example, man, of these like underclassmen, elite recruits that visit Notre Dame early and fade late. And I think part of that is because Notre Dame, like, I wouldn't say they give up on some of the elite guys, but I think it's like, okay, like if we're starting to fade a little bit, now we're gonna pivot, and they load up on like some of these, like I guess lower ranked guys. But in this cycle, I think Notre Dame's going to take the opposite approach. I think they're really going to be buying in to the type of season they can have, and college football playoff, host a home game. Like I think that's their ultimate goal for this year. Like this season is a failure if Notre Dame does not host a playoff game. That's just the way it is. And I think
No, it's not.
yes, it
Kyle,
is.
if they go on the road and like if they're the 10th seed, then they win the 7-10 matchup.
I'm telling you, man. Everyone I talk to around Notre Dame is like, they all talk
Okay,
about.
all right. So per Kyle, if they go on the road and they're the 10 seed and then they win the national championship, still a failure because they didn't host. See what I'm saying? Like,
No,
come on.
it's like the initial benchmark. Like this is
Okay, so the regular season.
This is the one. Yeah, they need to clear this. Like,
Well, they don't give out trophies from the regular
here's the thing,
season.
man. Everyone's always talking about like, hey, we're gonna host this like 7th home game this year. Like it's a foregone conclusion. Like
Listen, this whole season revolves around A&M. You have to beat A&M.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. That is the truth.
And my dynasty with Tim Hyde, I lost to A&M. I was just not prepared. It was like my 3rd time playing the game, and I blew a lead because I didn't know that in the 4th quarter of this game, the opponents turned into the 72 Dolphins. But I've bounced back pretty well, and I'm going to host a playoff game. But I don't think in real life, like Notre Dame can have, I don't know. For recruiting purposes, they need to beat A&M, and then they got to run the table. Recruiting purposes, for just the team morale, they have to go beat A&M. For the outside looking in, you just got to go beat A&M. Have to go beat freaking Texas A&M. So, Kyle, it's time to hear from the second sponsor of today's show, Rogue Shop, the husband and wife outfit. As Mr. Rogue and his wife Shar are craft cannabis farmers who specialize in small batch sustainable plant medicine, a true holistic type of small business. They farm and grow everything themselves, do everything by hand. So check out their website. It's rogueshop.com, ROGUE shop.com. They sell everything, folks. Maybe not everything, right? But they sell a lot. CBD, THC, edibles, tinctures, smokables, bath salts, pain creams, topicals, vapes, candles, soaps, and more. Check out their 24/7 chat function where customers can ask Mr. Rogan Shar any questions. Any questions that you have, they will answer. Check it out, rogueshop.com. If you have issues sleeping, chronic pain, and or anxiety, stress issues, rogueshop.com. Kyle was out on the road last week seeing Brandon Logan. I was not out on the road due to personal reasons. So Fort Wayne, Indiana, Snyder, safety commit for the Irish, the former Vanderbilt commit. This young man was not posting all of his offers, by the way. He did have some other offers. I don't think he ever even put on social media. Not a big social media, not a big, me guy. I just don't think he cares. It's all about his business. On 3 ranks him highest as the number 40 safety in America. 24/7 has him at 82. ESPN 59 rivals not ranked in their safety rankings. So you got to see him. Let me pop this up, Kyle, and tell us what you think about seeing Brandon Logan last week.
Pretty impressive.
And what was the score?
Yeah, that was the asterisk there, because it was a 15-0 game in favor of Warren Central, an Indianapolis powerhouse school, who is a class higher than Snyder. Warren Central is one of the top programs in the entire state, top programs in the highest classification, and Snyder is in the classification before Warren Central, and they won the state championship last year. So, two pretty evenly matched teams, I think. Going into it, I mean, Snyder lost a lot of starters from last year, and Warren didn't really lose a ton of guys, especially when they have 3 legit power 4 guys on their D line. Like, Warren Central's D line is ridiculous, and Snyder actually beat Warren Central last year. So, yeah, as I was kind of alluding to, pretty interesting game, because this was not expected. Like, I was not told this beforehand. Like, I talked to the coach before the game. Like, he never even hinted at it. They did not show this in warmups, but Brandon Logan played linebacker for like the first 3 quarters of that game. And I think I kind of made a mistake in my analysis piece where I wrote some forethoughts talking about some observations from his performance, because I called the Snyder's decision to put Logan at linebacker is ineffective. And part of the reason I did that is I know I kind of teed off on Juicy J on the message board. I kind of had to get
Just
my
doing
thoughts
it again,
out.
Kyle. Just doing it again.
No. It was not. There was nothing wrong with what Juicy J said. I just had to take the opportunity to talk about this. Like, I was covering Brandon Logan through my phone the entire night. That's how I did this video. Like, it is hard for me to focus on what else is happening elsewhere on the field when I'm so zoned in on covering a Notre Dame commit. So with that said, I didn't really fully get a grasp on what the other 10 guys are doing on the field and everything like that. So the reason I called it ineffective was because a lot of times in my reporting, I try to quantify things like stats and everything like that. And at the end of the day, Snyder gave up 15 points with Logan at linebacker. Just the way it was. But, those 15 points surrendered were not really Logan's fault. He was a big reason why, like, Warren Central, they kind of just broke through like 2 really big plays for their touchdowns. Yeah, how about Brandon Logan, man? He's a feisty guy. So yeah, when he played linebacker in those 3 quarters, a lot of the snaps came in coverage against a tight end that has FBS offers from Toledo and Miami. Didn't allow any catches to him. He did somewhat allow a catch to like one of the wide receivers on Warren Central. It was a heck of a play. It was like no big deal. Like, I'm not going to fault Brandon Logan a whole lot for that. Did have the fumble recovery, a half tackle for loss, and I think 3 or 4 other tackles while playing linebacker. But what was impressive to me was when he switched to safety, like he made 5 tackles like that opening series. And now that's because Snyder's front 7 was a little bit weaker. And luckily that Snyder defense ended up getting a turnover on downs on that series, on the main series. He played safety in the 4th quarter. But it was just impressive because that just showed more of what Brandon Logan's going to do at Notre Dame. Like, I don't think Brandon Logan's going to be playing a lot of linebacker at Notre Dame, but it was just impressive to see his range as safety, because he kind of played like that one high free safety, and he was just coming in through to the line of scrimmage, just hit sticking guys. Like you could see it on some of the film that I had of highlights from his performance. But the one thing that did help his linebacker play did help me kind of a little bit maybe confirmation bias. It's like going into that game, like kind of felt like Brandon Logan just has this profile to be the future nickel in Notre Dame's defense. He's 6 foot, about 180 pounds. That's exactly what Tyreek Bracy, Jordan Clark, and Thomas Harper all were in Marcus Freeman and Al Goldman's defense. So he has that prototype to play nickel for Notre Dame. And the success that he had at linebacker, covering guys in space, having to be involved with some of those run plays that are, some short stoppage plays, I guess, like some plays that, nickels are usually tasked with. That was pretty impressive to me. So I still really like Brandon Logan
Nickel.
at Notre Dame. I don't know exactly if that's how Notre Dame sees him. I know it when he did camp at Irish Invasion, they worked him out in some like nickel situations, I heard. So that's fascinating there as well. But once again, fantastic safety recruit. And the other thing to watch here, man, is he is a legit MLB prospect.
He is
Legit. Like he very well could end up going within the first 10 rounds of the MLB draft next July, and having a decision to make whether he pursues the baseball route, go minor league baseball system, or progress with playing football and baseball at Notre Dame.
Just want to shout out this little thing, the new edition. It got cat hair on it, but apparently it's not cool to have cats.
I need one of those blue and gold hats.
How do you not have one?
Well, when I
guess you weren't with us. Oh yeah, you were at the other. Yeah. Hit up Tice. They might have still more in Nashville.
Well, when I was with Horka a couple summers ago, like we were hanging out in the office, and I think there was a hat there that was technically his, but he already had a hat. And he's like, yeah, you can have this. Well, I ended up forgetting the hat. And now I'm like 99% sure that hat ended up in the hands of Jack Sowell. So hopefully I get it.
He's been wearing it. Yeah, I've seen him wear one. Okay, all right, real quick.
I saw it on one of the YouTube videos. I'm like,
damn, there's my hat. Kyle, you hitting the road tonight? Did you make that decision?
I think so. I want to see what happens on the Marcus presser first, because if I get bombarded with a bunch of breaking news, I might have to nix those plans. But yeah, I would love to go see Ben Nichols at Wayne State tonight, playing in like a Michigan football classic sort of deal. So I would like to see him, man. I saw him out at the Under Armour camp in Canton, Ohio back in the spring.
Yeah,
I was really impressed by him, man. I thought he looked really good, and now I want to see him, what he looks like in pads. And I think he might put the fear of God in some of the T linemen that line up across him.
So Kyle might see Ben Nichols tonight, and I am going to see Tampa Berkeley Prep listed at safety. Notre Dame take him as a corner. Tampa Berkeley Prep athlete, just call him an athlete, just play running back, receiver. Dallas Golden, huge. So like, I don't know, man. Like this is the example of when Notre Dame fans are like, oh, we never get the elite recruit. It's like Dallas Golden picked Notre Dame over Georgia and Clemson. He's a top 100 recruit. He's not flipping. Like, damn. Like, we're Notre Dame fans. You're not always the victim. I love you. You're not always the victim. It's okay. You guys also do land big-time recruits. Dallas Golden's a top 100 recruit. Georgia, FSU, Clemson, Miami. It's okay.
I'm trolling Mike.
It's like on the message board. Me and Irish Chef were going at it last night, and he's like, oh, the national guys, they're out to get us. Like, it's okay. Like, no, they're not. If I say I think Deuce Knight's flipping, it's like, Thanks for letting us know, Mike. Steve Wilfong says it. It's like, get out of here, Steve. Notre Dame fans, I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm right there with you on a lot of things, not this one. Anyway, I'm going to see Dallas Golden tomorrow night. Really excited about that. So I'll have a lot of reporting on that. And I'm going to write an article like Friday about what I'm looking to see. And then I'll do like a post-game reports. And then I'll get to interview Dallas. I'm planning on talking to his dad, his coach. So that should be good. Dallas Golden, an elite athlete, one of the best players in the class, pound for pound. Kyle, you have literally 30 seconds. Notre Dame, Texas A&M score prediction. What you got? Drew, no, that's not what he meant. If there's breaking news. If there's breaking news, Drew. All right, Kyle, 30 seconds. Score prediction. Give it to me.
I haven't given it a ton of thought. I don't know what I put in the Blue and Gold magazine, but this just feels like a 16-13 game.
Who's winning?
Texas A&M.
Oh!
I need to see it. I need to see it from Notre Dame on the road. I know they beat Syracuse on the road, who was a ranked opponent. They had another big win. Well, the Duke game last year, but they escaped Durham by the skin of their teeth. I need to see it. I would like to be pleasantly surprised than disappointed with my prediction.
All right, folks. Appreciate you all for tuning in. We're gonna end the stream before Kyle gets just absolutely roasted here. I'm picking a Notre Dame win. That video will come out tomorrow. I'm recording it with Tim I tonight. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video. If you have not subscribed yet to blueandgold.com, 50% off, promo code kickoff24. Appreciate you guys. Have a safe Thursday, and we'll be back live on the Blue and Gold YouTube channel Saturday night. Me and Tim live. See you, everyone.